For the first time in 10 years, I'm having to replant soybeans, and I'm not happy about it. Mostly because there's a bit of it that was my fault. And a little bit of Mother Nature deciding to be as difficult as possible. We're going to talk about all of that. I'm Tyler Tobald. Welcome to JTAC Farms. Today we are out replanting some soybeans in our beardless triticale field that I roller crimped. If you look down through here, there are no beans to be seen. Except for that little guy. And therein is one of the issues of why I'm having to replant this. So firstly, the reason why I'm having to replant that isn't my fault. Bugs. Holy smackers. It has been a year like I have never seen, and that some of my folks around here haven't seen in 20 plus years. The bugs are the worst we've ever seen. The chinch bugs are out in full force, and the grasshoppers are out in full force. We've got blister beetles in the corn because the blister beetles are following the grasshoppers because the blister beetles eat grasshopper larvae. It is just an absolute mess this year, and it's gotten into the bean field. Between the grasshoppers and all of the chinch bugs, let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about here with the chinch bugs. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but there's one of them kind of running away there. They are really hard to see even with this good a camera. So between the bugs and everything else, there is hardly any beans out here. And that was not something I expected to come across because we haven't had bug damage in beans. We had a little bit towards the end of last year, but that was it. I have not seen this bad of damage ever for anything that I've farmed. So what's going to happen is, now that I've planted this, they're going to come through here with a post-emerge herbicide because there's some weeds that are finally starting to kind of poke their heads up and try to get started. So we're going to nuke all that, and they're also going to spray some Hero on it just to try to make sure we get everything that's out here nuked and taken care of because, well, they've eaten one. I really don't want them to eat a second. Now, enough blaming Mother Nature. Let's get to the other reason why we've got a real bad issue over here and why I'm having to replant. Me. I made a rookie error, and it involves down pressure. When you're planting through a lot of residue, down pressure is one of the key components to making sure you get good seed to soil contact, to get as deep as you need to be, you know, yada, yada, yada. And as you can tell, there's quite a bit of residue here. Now, I did not notice that until after I was done planting my field and then my dad's field, which I replanted this morning. When I hooked up to the air seeder and got everything put in and ready to go, I didn't change my settings on my hydraulics. For this air seeder to maintain constant down pressure, you need to have your down for your gangs on constant. That way it maintains your down pressure. I had it for 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down because it was on the dozer blade beforehand. Now originally, I thought I was going to be able to get away with it. The ground was super nice and mellow. Looked like it was planting really well. I dug down. The seed I was finding was at about 1 3/4 inches where I wanted it to be. However, I wasn't digging far enough away from where I was first putting the air seeder in the ground. It started in where it was supposed to be, and then it started riding up, and it wasn't maintaining a good depth. And there was some stuff that we were digging up a couple of plants that basically it was just that far below the surface, and this wasn't rooting down well. It's a real problem. Thankfully, CVA's got a good replant program, so I'm not out a bunch of money. If this works and is, you know, a successful bean crop still, then honestly, I'm still ahead because what it's going to cost me to replant this is still less than a pre-emerge burn down herbicide trip. So if this works still, it'll still be a win, albeit one with a little bit of an asterisk next to it. To be perfectly honest, a mistake like this just makes me very, very angry at myself, because this is such a rookie move. This is something that you put, somebody you put into the air seeder by themselves for the first time, or you've, told them to hook up by themselves for the first time. That's a mistake somebody like that would make, not someone who's been running an air seeder for 15 plus years now. But in the end, crying over spilled milk doesn't help anybody. It's time to get this replanted. There is some moisture down there, albeit not as much as I would have liked to have seen, and not as much as that was there, when I originally planted this. So I'm hoping that we can get some rain this weekend, get this up and going, and happy and healthy, and get the herbicide, pesticide run over the top of this, and hopefully recover and still have a good crop. We're planting Asgrow 4.2s out here. They're a great replant bean. I know some guys that have used it. They're great. If you're replanting around here, that's pretty much what you're using. So we'll see what happens. When I started this channel, I promised I would show both the good and the bad. I've shown some great stuff this year. Well, here's the bad stuff. Yin and yang, all things in life, balance, all that hippie stuff. So while this isn't 100% my fault, it's enough that, I need to own up and I need to admit to it. So here we are. Well, I better get back in the tractor. This isn't going to get itself planted. Hope to see you next time. And as always, thanks for stopping by.